Don't fuck yourself. Don't fuck up. I got it backwards because I'm Alucard. Welcome, everybody, to the Rude Cooking School podcast. My name is John Hauser III. How's it going, everybody? With me is the spooktacular
Saucy Soren Marquardt.
Ooh.
Does anyone else say when they read the word sucralose have to pronounce it like sucralose?
Sucralose? What's that?
It's an artificial sweetener.
Sucrose? Or is
it's called sucralose. It's a product.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I have to look for it because it gives me a headache. So.
Oh, okay. Sucralose.
Sucralose.
No. Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. We're here recording the night before it's Devil's Night. Tonight's the night that the crow gets shot and then he comes back to life a couple years later. I don't know.
Light it up. Light it up.
That fucking movie's so good. I
know.
Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I do have the original J.O. Barr comic books of it. So
nice.
Hey, ladies, back off. I'm married. Okay.
The line forms on the left.
Yeah.
Now I was just stoked when I actually got the both the theatrical and the movie soundtracks on vinyl. That is hands down my favorite movie soundtrack.
It's such a good, yeah. Every time I've seen The Cure since maybe, well, they didn't play it the first time I saw them. I think in the 2000s they started playing it. So like I've seen The Cure maybe 8 or 9 times now, and they've probably played it 6 times. And because now they know, they're like, oh, everybody loves this fucking song.
Yeah, my favorite one, hands down, because I'm a giant Trent Reznor fan.
Oh, is the cover.
The Dead Souls, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, it's Joy Division and 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
It just made my goopy little black teenage heart feel good.
It's such a good cover. And I love the original, but to be fair, I heard the 9 Inch Nails version first.
I did too. Actually, I didn't hear.
I knew of Joy Division. I knew Love Will Tear Us Apart. I knew She's Lost Control. And I knew a couple other ones, but I'd never heard that because I wasn't a huge goth kid when I was younger. I mean, I was like I say today, I'm goth adjacent. I'm more goth now than I was when I was a teenager. And I had goth friends who played me a lot of shit, but we never just got to that part.
Yeah,
you know
I was like 50-50. I was like, fucking Slayer. And then I'm like typo negative and,
Well, I was like a big metal head when I was like from 10 until probably about 14 or 15. Basically up until I heard Teen Spirit. Like I was that kid that the first time I heard Teen Spirit on the radio when it first came out, I was like, oh, this is my whole life. This is
did we live
exactly what I've been
childhood?
waiting for. Yeah. Because then I was like a huge Sonic Youth person and, then that got me more into experimental stuff, but alternative things I still love metal and all that shit. Like my first concert was Metallica. My first arena concert was Metallica on the Black Album tour.
Mine was Pantera and White Zombie.
Nice. We talked about this, right?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah. Because my brother took me to go see Pantera opening, White Zombie, and then Megadeth finished.
Yeah, we didn't get the Megadeth part of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, we
just got a couple really shitty opening bands, and then White Zombie and Pantera, but because it's Texas, because Pantera is way Texas.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I saw Pantera. I saw Pantera in 1992. Wait, what was it? 92? No, I saw Pantera in 1992. No, it was 1990. Yeah, it was 1992. 92 or 93 at a place called Michael's 8th Avenue that holds about 500 people.
Yeah, my brother, he's 8 years older than me. And there used to be a place in Fort Worth called Joe's Garage.
Nice.
And that's sort of where they I guess they sort of cut their teeth there before they started getting big, and when they got
when they were still hair metal and shit.
Yeah, we're sort of in that transitional period when they got Phil.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But he said he saw them back when there was 50 people in the room.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Speaking of spooky, I saw Danzig in 1992 or 93, whatever it was, at a really not a small place. It again held like 500 people, so small place. But the opening act was an all metal band of African American dudes, and there was a couple fucking butchies like from fucking Dundalk in the front, like F you fucking N-word, like all this shit. And
oh, nice. Yeah, classic.
those guys were basically like, fuck you, we're gonna fuck you up after the show or whatever. And like, they were just being an asshole. And people are like, dude, shut the fuck up, right? And I'm in the back, like I'm by myself. I'm 14 or 15 or whatever it was. And I was just by myself, and I'm just like, oh my God, how's this gonna play out? And fucking Danzig comes out, and they kind of do like an intro song, whatever, and he's stalking the fucking thing. And, 1992 Glenn Danzig is 5'2",
theatrical,
and probably just 95% muscle at that point.
Yeah. A bit of a beefcake, that one.
But like his talking voice is like super Jersey. And that's the funny part about him, because you think he'd actually be like, everybody, see those guys there? But he's not. He's like,
no, he just sounds like Welcome Back Kotter.
Right. He's like, hey, I want you all to know, I heard what you fucking said over there. Hey, everybody, see those fucking guys right there? We're going to play a fucking song. I don't want to see them anymore when it's done. And the guys I was like up on like a riser, and I could see those guys, and they all looked around like, wait, what did Glenn Danzig say? And then all of a sudden they played the song, and people fucking beat the fuck out of that guy. Like they beat the shit out of the main warrior in the beginning of the Warriors. Like it was just fucking like a circle of people just elbowing these dudes, and then all of a sudden you just saw their bodies get raised and pass backwards and literally thrown into a pile at the back of the fucking venue. Like they knocked those fucking dudes out and then just passed their passed out bodies back. And
as one should.
Fucking crazy. Yes, fuck that shit. Fuck racism. And I was like, yes, why can't I say Glenn Danzig? I keep saying Glenn Danzig. Jesus.
Tony Danza.
Yeah. But anyway, that I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. And I still to this day, fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Everybody thinks metalheads are scary until you're in a situation where you're surrounded by 500 of them.
Yeah, and they're all like,
they're about to get your back.
Yeah, exactly. I got to see Ghost when they came through Baltimore years and years ago. The second time they came to Baltimore, their first American show ever was in Baltimore when they played at Maryland Death Fest.
Nice.
So when they came,
I don't know. I guess I need to listen to more of it, because I know everybody.
No, you don't. First two albums are good.
Loves it, and I just
first two albums are. I love the very first album. The second album I love even more because they kind of doubled down on the fucking Satan thing. But then it's kind of like, all right, I got it.
Honestly, I think I might be a little jaded because I had to live through him.
Oh God.
And it's sort of in the same. They're in like adjacent lanes.
Yeah. Was him like a satanic thing?
It was more I don't know. It was some jackass CKY shit.
I remember fucking douchebag Bam Margera.
Bam Margera, yeah. He was like,
right?
Yeah, had butt buddies with Val, and but I just like that whole genre. I was really confused by it because it just kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, wait, what the fuck is this?
I'm trying to think of like other like scary bands I saw. I saw Tool in '93 on the Undertow tour right before they got big. I saw
Undertow is actually my favorite Tool album, hands down.
It's a very good album. I remember the first time I found the secret track on there by accident.
Yeah,
I almost shit my pants
because
I was falling asleep.
You're done.
Well, I'd listened to the album going to sleep, and I'd kind of fallen asleep, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why do I hear like a preacher? What the fuck is
Let
happening?
the rabbits wear glasses.
Yeah. These are the cries of the carrots. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? I saw a band called Overkill.
Oh yeah, Overkill's been around for a million years.
Yeah. was like a thrash metal band.
Oh yeah, my brother put me. So I learned about metal from my older brother. Well, he taught me how to ride a skateboard on a quarter pipe in the driveway in my parents' house.
Nice.
Yeah, I heard Suicidal Tendencies play. I saw your mommy.
Yeah, great song.
When
And
I was
your
like
mommy
9.
was what? Yeah.
Yeah. When I was like 9, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, the first time I heard punk, one of my older cousins was like, let me just play you everything. I heard Suicidal, I heard Circle Jerks, Minutemen. That was the first time I ever heard Sex Pistols.
I'm sure No Effects was
DRI.
peppered in there somewhere.
What's that?
I'm sure No Effects was probably peppered in there somewhere.
No. This is before No Effects.
Because they were
I'm older than you.
Early 90s. Yeah.
This was like 1986. I might have been 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, this is way before No Effects and shit. And The Descendants, which I was like, this is the greatest band I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I've listened to the copy I have of Milo Goes to College about 500 times, and most of them were in the first week I had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got a good album.
I just got that on vinyl. A local
I got it too.
A local record store you got the same one?
Well, I got this one a couple of years. My wife actually.
Oh no, this just came out. They put like those like weird Japanese, not weird, but like the Japanese things on the side.
Okay. Like an import.
Yeah, but there's like a name for it that record collectors value or whatever. Anyway,
okay.
We're talking about fucking music. Anyway.
Yeah.
Halloween. Spoopy. It's my favorite. It's my favorite holiday. I'm not dressing up this year. We're just going to relax and let the kids go. We're going to have people over our house. All of the parents and the kids are going to come over here. I'm not cooking. I'm going to make that apple galette with caramel sauce from the book.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to make that, and then we're just going to order a bunch of pizzas. I'm not going to make anything except for that. Like, I'm not going to be like crazying myself up.
That sounds like a plan.
And then we're all going to hang out, and then the kids are going to come back, and then they're going to hang out, and I'm going to throw in like a scary movie for them, and we're just going to fucking hang out. Like, real chill. Speaking of Nirvana, Crosby is good. Well, today he was Kurt Cobain.
Okay. All right.
He's got long blonde hair. He's
already got the hair. He's got the, the kind of straw blonde.
And it wasn't my idea at all. He fucking decided, he was like, hey dad, can I be Kurt Cobain? I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're kind of perfect for it.
He's like, hey dad, do you have a baby blue cardigan I can borrow?
Well, that's the thing, right? I was like, all right, there's two cardigans. Well, there's a cardigan you wear that's a green mohair sweater. You can go as, Kurt from
Unplugged.
Unplugged. That I've had a green mohair sweater now for what's this year? 30 years that I haven't worn since college because it's just a ratty old cardigan. I put it on like once or twice a year and just hang around the house in it. And then another one I have.
That's it. Just a sweater.
Was a sweater I got from my dad when I was in college. And it's a red and black sweater, like the one he wears in like one of the videos, and there's famous pictures of him in this big.
Oh, that was the Smells Like Teen Spirit video with the cheerleaders.
No, that was green and brown.
Oh, okay. Well,
this was
the lighting wasn't great in that video.
Mom and Dad went to a show.
Oh yeah,
Sliver? No, whatever. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, Crosby looked great. Last night I got his pants, and we did them up like his very famous pants that sold for like fucking $1 million or whatever the hell it was, with all the patches and shit all over.
Oh yeah.
So we just went to Michael's and got some fabric swatches, and then I found this like ironable thing that you can like put on the back of the fabric and then peel and then put it on the fabric you're gonna put it on, and then just iron it on, and it makes
Stitch Witch.
It patches it instantly. I don't know. That might be what it's called, but it's like meltable plastic and it's never coming off.
Sure, yeah.
But he looked great. Yeah, so it was like,
awesome.
It was like the cool pants. I got him some Chucks, black Chucks. Then he had just one of my old white t-shirts on. So it was just a little too big for him, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And then a white and light gray stripy button-up shirt that was open, and then the green mohair sweater.
Nice.
And I got him those fucking white bug glasses that he used to wear.
Oh, yeah.
They came today because his school thing was supposed to be tomorrow, but because of all the rain, they switched it.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, he'll be trick-or-treating in sunglasses in the dark.
You know. I mean, we used to walk around in those like blown mold plastic masks that had like pencil eraser sized nose holes to breathe through.
Yeah, where you're like,
and you can only see about an eighth of what you should be able to be seeing
like,
right now.
I'm dressed up as Spider-Man, and in reality, you were just wearing a Spider-Man mask with a picture of Spider-Man on your chest.
Yeah, you didn't look wearing
anything
a
like
Spider-Man lobster bib in a plastic bowl.
Yeah. I still have my He-Man costume. And I have a Miss Piggy costume, and I have a werewolf costume of my brother's from the 70s, which is pretty sweet.
It sounds like it'd be a really interesting mix.
Yeah, I want to frame them somehow, but I don't know what to do with them. But all right, let's get into the thing. So, what do you know about children being poisoned during Halloween?
I of course, being a product of the late 70s, early 80s, it was very much in my purview when I was old enough to realize that people sucked when we were trick-or-treating. And so we always heard the stories from everywhere. School, friends, parents, like, you got to check your candy when you get back because somebody might have done something to your candy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so I was terrified of that shit for most of my childhood.
Really?
I was still willing to, go ahead and give it a shot.
I think 1 year we actually did the X-ray candy thing. Like when I was a kid, like when I was like 6. I think my mother was like, all right, let's go to the hospital or wherever they had this mobile X-ray machine set up. And we did the thing. But we never did it before. We would always check through it to make sure there wasn't anything that was like weird, like homemade, there was always somebody that made homemade popcorn balls or would do they'd make caramel apples and shit, which now I'm like, oh God, those would have been so good.
Yeah.
I love candied apples too. I'm a huge caramel apple fan. I might have to make
I am too. My teeth are not so much, but
yeah.
But the rest of me is yes.
So let's get into this. So this is taken basically from an article called "Why Halloween's Poison Candy Myth Endures" by Jennifer Byrne. So in the fall of 1982, great year, I was 6.
I was 4.
I saw E.T. and cried my eyes out and never wanted to go to a movie theater ever again.
I saw the movie, but I was too young to understand the plot, so nice. I did not cry.
An unfounded fear haunted almost every house in Chicago as area children prepared to trick their neighbors with impressions of werewolves, vampires, and zombies. Their parents were more terrified of the treats their kids were eager to devour. Candy was a potential murder weapon. Apples might contain carefully concealed razor blades. Twizzlers might be laced with rat or ant poison. Mayor of Chicago Jane Byrne urged extreme caution and vigilance on Halloween, adding that if she had children, she would not allow them to accept any food items. As the fear across the nation crept up, nowhere near Chicago began to sound the alarm. Towns nowhere near Chicago began to sound the alarm. In Trenton, New Jersey, the governor, Thomas Keene, signed a bill imposing a mandatory 6 months jail sentence on anyone convicted of handing out contaminated Halloween candy. In Vineland, a South New Jersey city, Mayor Patrick Fiorilli imposed. Sorry, it's the only way you can get up and down that fucking skateboard.
Hand out the yucky candy. You know,
yeah. He imposed the outright ban on the trick-or-treating, noting that, here we go, quote, What an opportunity was for some not to do something, end quote. Local hospitals offered to x-ray children's candy for free. Again, yeah.
We didn't find any
that sounds
razor
about right.
blades
When
or
I was
needles,
6,
but here's
1982.
your partially irradiated Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably going to be the thing that does me in. Not the thousands of cigarettes I had when I was a kid. However, according to sociologist Joel Best, this ghastly treat was about as real as candy seeking, child-sized ghosts and witches roaming around with pillowcases. Quote, all I can say is I don't know of a single case of a child killed by Halloween poisoner, said Best. Quote, I've seen 5 news stories that attributed deaths to Halloween poisoning. In one case, it was the child's own father, and the other 4s were all retracted, end quote. Best would know, as the author of the 1990 book, Threatened Children, and the co-author of a study tracking all reports of contaminated Halloween candy since 1958. The University of Delaware sociology professor is arguably the nation's foremost expert on quote unquote Halloween sadism. It's a great term.
Sounds like the name of a band.
Yeah, it should be. It should be a band. It should be an album name. Yeah. Halloween sadism. Well, there is the band called Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Which in the weird. Do you watch Peacekeeper?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But I've known of Halloween since I was like 8.
In this season of Peacekeeper, he goes to an alternate dimension, and the most famous band in the country is Halloween. Which is funny because they had like a minor hit on like metal radio, but never were like big at all.
No, but they've never stopped touring.
No, are they still touring? That's awesome.
They still pop up from time to time, like them in like Municipal Waste and
yeah,
and Overkill even.
Yeah. All right. So Halloween sadism is defined as the act of passing out poison treats to children during trick or treating. But even before the term was coined in 1974, parents already feared a suspicious and mysterious, mentally unhinged candy made by killers for decades, despite a lack of supporting evidence. For Best, who has updated his report every year since the 1980s, the month of September kicks off a sort of quote-unquote interview session during which he inevitably fields calls from the press about the latest crop of claims. Quote, there's always high anxiety in the years when something happens in September, says Best. Reports of poison candy increase after September 11th. Whenever something unsettling happens before Halloween, I get more calls that year, end quote. Indeed, something very unsettling happened in Chicago in September of 1982, but it had nothing to do with the Halloween candy or trick-or-treating at all. In late September, 7 apparently healthy Chicagoans had died suddenly and inexplicably. It was not long before the authorities identified a common factor. All of the victims had taken capsules of extra-strength Tylenol before their sudden deaths.
Yep.
Toxicology studies revealed that someone had opened the capsules and replaced their contents with fatal doses of cyanide. To this day, no one has been charged with the crime. I remember that. That was scary.
Yeah. Like going back, why does everything have a seal on it now?
Right.
I was a kid when that happened.
Because before that, it was just cotton.
Yeah. Which is hard enough to get out.
Yeah.
And it squeaks when
it's so weird because, anytime anything awful happens, everyone expects there to be a copycat. See the reason for 20 some years we've had to take our fucking shoes off at an airport. Mm-hmm. But most of the time
I apologize to everyone at all the airports I've been through.
It's just crazy.
It
was very alarming. And to be sure, it was, people were freaked out, and the makers of Tylenol quickly took appropriate action. On October 5th, 1982, Tylenol's parent company, Johnson & Johnson, initiated an unprecedented mass recall of extra-strength Tylenol, more than 31 million bottles worth. New tamper-proof packaging was introduced. Those seals that we now all have to fight with, which that's fine. I love those things.
Well, I mean, to be fair, compared to these days, that's probably a minor setback.
Yeah,
because they have a whole different set of problems now.
Right. But much like the undead movie monster that keeps popping up out of the grave for jump scares, the fear of tainted candy simply refuse to die. Okay. Best, who maintains that children are much more likely to be harmed on Halloween by cars than contaminated treats. I bet that's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Dude, my neighborhood is fucking terrifying for children because people are zooming around and like they know it's Halloween, but they're just trying to get home quick, and there's children everywhere and it's dark. And,
yeah.
You know, we got street lights and shit, but like, you know, kids are wearing dark shit. Like,
I mean,
terrifying.
I lived in a quiet little suburban neighborhood. Me and my brother both got hit by cars.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god! On Halloween?
Not on Halloween per se.
Okay, well,
just
then fuck your story. We don't care if you got hit by a car. We'll find out. We'll introduce that origin story later.
It probably explains a few things, but
it really does sound like it kind of did. Of the approximately 200 reports of Halloween sadism he has evaluated. By the way, that's 200 in almost 50 years. Okay. That's it, which is fucking crazy because you would think this be happening 200 times in a week, you know, the way everybody fucking freaks out about like, save the children. The vast majority fell apart upon closer scrutiny. Many of the needles and apples and poison-laced treats turned out to be hoaxes. In some cases, the children themselves perpetuated the hoax, perhaps to get attention. Quote from Best: "My favorite story of this kind was one where the kid had taken a bite out of the candy bar and said to his parents, 'I think there's ant poison on this candy bar,' says Best. So the candy bar got analyzed, and sure enough, there was ant poison on it, but it was on the end of the candy bar that the kid hadn't taken a bite from." End quote. The kid later admitted to having putting poison on the candy bar himself.
Shocking.
Also, it's weird that the kid would say, "This tastes like ant poison."
That's
hey, son,
specific.
How do you know what fucking ant poison tastes like?
I mean, it was the 80s, so.
Well, as soon as my kid would have said that, I'd be like, how do you know what fucking ant poison tastes like? It's just,
Oh, that's definitely a fair question, but you know.
In a similar case, a child claiming he had found a pin in his Tootsie Roll, and this is fucked up, led his parents to accuse a neighbor of the deed. After 20 years of no doubt awkward neighborhood interactions, the child, by then an adult, confessed to planting the pin himself. Can you imagine after 20 fucking years, your kid being like, yeah, that was me. And then you got to fucking go to your neighbor and just be like,
hey, sorry about the last 2 decades.
I've been a dick to you. Yeah, all that shit that you've got in the mail, that was my poop. I'm sorry. You know, like any poop centric thing that you've been involved in, that's been me. I'm sorry.
Gonna need somebody to clip that. And
I clip it myself.
It'll be the new intro jingle for the podcast.
In a few tragic cases where children died, the cause was invariably traced back to something other than a crazed neighborhood killer. When an 8-year-old, Timothy O'Brien, died after consuming poisoned pixie sticks, the culprit was living right under the same roof. Timothy's father, Ronald O'Brien, the elder O'Brien, was intent on collecting his son's life insurance money. Ugh, what a fucking creep. That's awful. Of all the reports of a child being killed by Halloween sadism, not a single one has held up to under inspection. Yet when October 31st rolls around, police stations, hospitals, and local news outlets continue to break out the perennial warnings about how to, quote unquote, protect your children from poison candy. Some police departments and hospitals lend further credibility to the myth by issuing warnings and press releases to offer to inspect candy. So why does this fear continue? Oh, good.
I feel like this is basically just a giant, very well organized wink and nod to tax your kids' candy.
When it sounds like the police want to act like they're doing something. And we're going to get into this. The police want to act like they're doing something. Of course, the hospitals are like, you're wasting our time, but sure, we want to act like we're protecting people. And then 3, the news just needs something to scare people with because that's what the news does, right?
Well, of course, they don't make any money otherwise.
But there hasn't been one credible fucking time this has happened. Like everyone sees, what is it, Halloween 2? And there's the kid who's got the fucking razor blade in his teeth because he bit into an apple. And like that, I think that really perpetuated shit, Like,
oh, yeah.
What is it? The movie Trick or Treat at the end, the principal's like poisoning the fucking children that were coming to his house and shit like that. Like, it's just an urban legend. It's not real.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating about it. But, it's always this over, we got to be doing something to protect our kids. So here we go. So why does the fear continue to endure and flourish, even in the absence of evidence to support it? Quote, this is first and foremost a worry about protecting children, says Best, who categorizes Halloween sadism as a contemporary urban legend. Quote, when you think about it, children are the walking, talking future. So when we're anxious about our society's future, we can express that by saying, we've got to protect our children, end quote. Best says the fear of poisoned or otherwise tainted Halloween candy has come to serve as a proxy for very legitimate societal anxieties. In a modern world rife with looming threats, overpopulation, climate change, economic collapse, global pandemic, political instability, technology run amok, I'll add in AI, maniac presidents, things like that. It is useful to be able to funnel these fears into an unwieldy receptacle. By offloading anxieties into a manageable yearly event, people can fend off the feeling of helplessness, says Best. Quote, if you think about it, Halloween sadism is the best thing in the world to worry about, he says. There's somebody in your neighborhood who is so crazy they are willing to poison children at random, and yet they're so tightly wrapped, they'll only do it one night of the year, he says. So on November 1st, you wake up, you look around at the breakfast table and count noses. If everyone's still there, you can say, okay, we don't have to worry about this for another 365 days. But various forms of this legend have existed long before the 1982 Tylenol scare. While Best had been tracking this phenomenon since 1958, folklorist Elizabeth Tucker noticed similar themes in other myths, like blood libel, a myth dripping in anti-Semitism that blamed Jewish people for kidnapping Christian children to use in illicit rituals. Quote, there have been many versions of these legends about our most vulnerable and precious family members being affected by dangerous people, strangers, those who are different from us, end quote, says Tucker, a professor at Binghamton University who studies folklore surrounding children and the supernatural. That's pretty cool fucking folklore.
Why does my kid levitate? Let me look into that for you.
What's Ring Around the Rosie actually about? Throughout the decades, Halloween sadism has adapted to changing fears. Anxieties about the 1970s and 1960s drug culture translated into a terror of crazed hippies dosing candy with LSD, a fear that would be revived lately in the last 10 years with the legalization of cannabis.
Nobody is giving kids free drugs.
Let me repeat this. If you were listening, did you hear what he just said, everybody? No one, absolutely no one is giving away their drugs for free. Trust me on this.
That's a really bad ROI.
Yeah. There's a new fear, and that is the fear of drug-laced Halloween candy that is now made up of quote-unquote rainbow fentanyl, a form of highly addictive narcotic in bright colors, allegedly to appeal to children. They look like the picture I saw, and I don't even know if it's real. They look like kind of like Smarties almost.
Okay.
The total number of cases of fentanyl in Halloween candy in the year 2022 until now has been 0. when they started counting it. So again, nobody's giving away free fucking drugs. Cost too much, god damn it.
Mm-hmm. In
Unless
this
you're
economy,
fucking,
for fuck's
like
sake, the candy problem alone is in this economy is like you're not poisoning. I'm not poisoning a $35 bag of Baby Ruths.
Yeah, I don't want to I don't want to give away the fucking $35 bag of candy I bought. Like, fuck. I'm not gonna give away, $300,000 worth of fentanyl
Or just
LSD.
even, trying to track down like somebody that still sells cyanide over the counter.
Yes. Yeah. God damn. The media does often do little to dispel fears of Halloween sadism. As frightening as Chicago's 1982 Tylenol poisonings were, there was reason for parents to feel reassured. Johnson & Johnson's swift and thorough handling of the emergency was hailed as, quote, a model of efficiency for corporate crisis management by Time magazine. There was also the fact that these poisonings had nothing to do whatsoever with Halloween candy or children. Because I don't even think kids were allowed to have fucking extra strength Tylenol. Nonetheless, respected outlets like the New York Times, as well as the trusted advice columnists Dear Abby and Ann Landers, all weighed, those old fucking cranks.
Dear Abby.
All weighed in alarmist articles warning parents of Halloween night disasters. Both then and now, the validation of this fear by the press, and especially by authority figures like the police, likely reinforce the strengths of the legend. Tucker says, quote, police are authority figures. They're people who keep the rule of law. People we trust, she says. We look to them to tell us if there's a problem. So if the police are actively checking children's candy and encouraging children to come in, there's a huge legend. There's a huge reason for this legend to keep coming in or keep going. So they talked to this police sheriff who was absolutely fucking clueless. Like, they're like, oh yeah, we do it all the time. And there's so many, I'm just going to kind of fucking keep going through this article because it's really kind of, we're almost at the end, but they talked to this fucking guy and, he's the green. He turns around.
He's like, green. How many of you guys like Baby Ruth? Raise your hand.
So the Greene County Sheriff's Department in Xenia, Ohio, is one police department that continues to offer inspection of children's candy. Quote, we do it as a public service for those who have who do have a fear or concern, says Sergeant Chris Moore, who's involved in the candy checking. This allows us to give parents comfort that the candy has been scanned for foreign objects.
I feel like Chris Moore probably has cavities.
We do not scan for any type of chemical alterations. End quote. So good for him. Moore, who was not aware, I love this, quote unquote, at all, that the fear of poison candy Halloween is widely considered to be an urban legend, says his department views the candy inspections as a proactive measure. So they were like, this is fake, right? There's not been one case of it. He's like, I've never heard of that at all. They just quoted that. They just quoted the at all part. Quote, we do this for the same reason that our patrol units are out, says Moore. Quote, they don't have to be dispatched to do a crime to do their job. We know that there are people in this world who do nefarious things. And therefore, we want to be on the preventative side of that, end quote. And I get that. I totally get that. And especially if parents are freaked out, dude, there are fucking crazy people in the world. As a parent, I understand this. Even as a young kid, I understood
for
it.
Sure.
As a young person without children, I understood it. In my college town, they wouldn't let them trick or treat because they were afraid that the fucking, because it was a college town made up of 75% college kids. They were afraid that the kids were going to give them all their marijuana joints or whatever the fuck. One, buddy, I can barely afford smokes. But two, I would have absolutely fucking bought a couple bags. Me and my buddies would have pitched in, fucking hung out and given out candy. That would have been great. Kids love kids, right? Because kids are older kids remember what it's like to be younger kids.
Yeah.
So they take care of them. That always used to make me fucking crazy. So the school would have to have special things where the kids would from the town would go on the campus and, go through the dorms and shit. And, the beat. Anyway, as the days grow shorter and the leaves begin to fall, Best is preparing to once again be haunted by calls from the media. As he waits for the inquiries to come in, he amuses himself with speculation about what form the panic will take. Every year around this time it starts, says Best. I've been waiting to see if we'll be remembering rainbow fentanyl this year or it will be something like the Tylenol poisonings. That was a boom year. So, yeah.
Now people are just handing out Tylenol to make your kids autistic.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to end this with a couple fucking like really crazy stories. These are just horror stories from chefs, fucking themselves up basically. So this one is from Michael White, chef owner of the Altamiaria Group in New York, New York. I still have all my fingers, let it be known, but I once nicked my finger when I was cooking for President Obama at Sarah Jessica Parker's house. This is no bullshit. It was a fundraiser he was running for a second term. There was a knife on the other side of the cutting board. I reached to move it. When I pulled back the board, I nicked just the top of my index finger with a Japanese knife. Those knives are so sharp that I didn't even draw blood right away. Then it started to bleed. So, I don't know. Is he just saying he got cut or did he feed Obama blood? What are we talking about here? This is from Greg Denton, co-owner of Ox Restaurant in Portland, Oregon. When I was younger, my father had a very long, thin knife that we always used to call the killer knife. One day, when no parents were around, I was goofing with it. I wanted to freak my brothers out and pretend to slice my hand, except I put the back of the blade against my palm right underneath my pinky, and I was like, hey guys, look. Turns out I had the wrong end. I flipped my palm and cut it wide open. Let's just say I got the reaction that I wanted, which of course was horrified. When you have three brothers, you try to figure out how to entertain yourselves, I guess. I wonder how many fucking stitches he got. Jesus Christ.
All of them.
Tyson Cole, who is the chef owner of Ikuchi and Ikuchiko in Austin, Texas, said, when I first started making sushi, I was working lunch. The guests were in front of me and had this rhythm going, sharpening my dull knife on a whetstone. Then somebody said my name. I turned around and the knife went off the edge of the stone and into my middle and pointer finger, under both nails, about a quarter of an inch.
Oh,
the knife was so sharp, it just went straight in and straight out. Horrifying.
No.
He said, but the worst I ever saw was at Austin City Limits in 2006. We were doing flavored shaved ice. Oh my God. And the chef.
There's machinery here. Oh no.
The chef I brought with me, Maza, was in charge of running the machine itself, basically a spinning razor that you put ice into. At some point, he reached in the machine to grab something and it cut his entire middle finger off. Holy
shit. That reminds me of when I was in wood shop in high school. They would show us these slideshows of all the terrible shit that's happened to people on power tools.
My woodshop teacher was missing 2 fingers and had 3 other ones reattached.
Wow.
He was holding it in a bloody towel and I was like, let me see. And when he took the towel away, the finger came out. It came out of the fucking towel. Oh my God, what?
Oh,
that's awful.
Oh, man.
Okay. Megan Garrett's co-owner of Blue Stem in Kansas City, Missouri says, at my first job out of culinary school, I was working at True in Chicago. We had a chocolate dessert on the menu that required tropical fruit and ice. It was passion fruit, guava, and mango. The guavas that we had were never ripe, and they were horribly small and not easy to handle. They don't cut very well either. I was preparing one, and I pretty much cut the tip of my thumb off with a paring knife right before service. To this day, my fingerprint is gone, and that area the size of a pencil eraser. My fingerprint is gone in the area of the size of a pencil eraser. And if I pick up something hot in that area, it hurts. I still hate guava. Oh, yeah, I guess.
Oh, I did that once too. Actually, in pretty way dissimilar fashion. But
how's that?
Yeah. So I was working at a shop, nutshell story. We did natural gas fuel systems on trucks,
Okay.
and we had to drill a lot of holes for all these mounts and shit that had to go in for the tanks. And I had what was called an angle drill. It's like a pneumatic like power drill, but instead of just being like the normal like drill you have that's like a gun, it just had like a 90-degree turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just put a brand new super sharp like half-inch like drill bit in it, and the trigger was on the vertical part of the body. And as I was tightening up the thing that holds it in place, the chuck key, uh, I bumped the trigger with my other hand,
And it went off.
and it started spinning, and it caught the end of my left thumb, and it went pew, and it landed on my workbench.
Yikes.
Yeah.
My mother used to work at here, hold on. I'll read this last one. I'll tell you the story about my mother.
Okay.
This is by, I don't know. I was 21 and working at Charlie Trotter's. Charlie Trotter is a very famous American chef. I was using a long 10-inch knife and slicing meat, and I turned around to look at something. When I go to put my knife back, as I always do, my other hand and index finger were in the way. It's the first and only time I had a puncture wound, and it felt like it went to the bone. And I felt it in my whole body, like a record scratching on vinyl. At the time, the chef was like, I don't care if you need 100 stitches. You're going to ruin service, and you're coming back, even if it's just to clean your station. So I did. That's great, right? Fuck.
Wow.
Also a funny story. One of my friends, Alex Stupak from Epayon, I have one of his cookbooks. He's got a great taco cookbook, Alex Stupak. Was working on soup one day when his soup gun caught on to something. He ended filling his clogs with boiling 200 degrees soup. Oh, God.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so two stories. One, my mother was working at a place called Mary Sue Easter Eggs. It's a candy place here. Mary Sue chocolates. And they had this machine, and she was young. She's probably like 17 or 18. And they didn't have them wear hairnets back then. And my mother moved around. She had long blonde hair and caught it in a machine.
Oh.
And it started pulling her in because it grabbed a giant hunk of her hair. And luckily somebody grabbed her, and it just ripped half the hair off her head.
Oh, God. Oh,
yeah,
oh no.
My dad was a sprinkler fitter, and he didn't drive, so he'd get a ride from a guy. And this guy was trying to open his thermos one day to drink his coffee in the morning, and it was on really tight, and he finally got it done, but he did one of those and dumped scalding hot coffee it was in the middle of winter, and my dad had insulated Red Wing boots and really thick socks, and it all went down his one leg, and he got 3rd-degree burns on his leg.
From coffee?
Coffee. Yeah, because it all went.
Fuck?
Because it was in an insulated thermos. And it was super hot coffee.
Dude, that's insanely hot coffee.
Yeah.
Who's drinking that?
It was nasty. He didn't work for a year because he had like, it was gnarly, dude. It burns all over his feet. It was gross.
Oh man.
So glad
an old dude was like, hey, babe, I'm getting ready to leave for work. Can you please boil me coffee and put it in the thermos?
Well, I mean, that's what happens. You boil the water, you put it over the coffee, right?
This sounds like a rolling boil before it went in the thermos.
I mean, it's still hot. But the reason that was so bad was because it went down into his insulated.
Oh yeah.
Shit. And by the time he jumped out of the car, because they were inside of his truck, once he jumped out of the truck and finally got his shit off, it was, it'd been on him for a while.
That's bananas, man.
Last thing, I think I've said this story on the podcast before. Worst thing I ever saw in a restaurant was person was slicing prosciutto without a guard.
Oh,
using their hand. And
where this is going.
They got to the end of the prosciutto and didn't realize it, and then took the whole first 2 layers of their palm off because they were holding it straight hand, flat. and then and they were like, oh my God. And I was like, what? And then they showed me their hand and it was nothing but blood. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh God.
And freaked out because I was 16 or 17 or whatever the fuck it was. I was like, oh, you're going to die. Like, of course you're not going to die, but you don't have any fucking, you can never be.
So it was like a giant slice stack of prosciutto and some Carl Paccio.
Yeah. But his name was Carl. No, but you're never going to have fucking fingerprints. Like, what the fuck? You just did that to yourself. That sucked. Kid wasn't fucking paying attention. They should never have fucking stupid kids doing that shit. So there you go, everybody.
I mean, I made it to 47, so
some spooky Halloween stories for you all, or relatively spooky. I don't know. But if you're worried about your kids' candy, definitely check it. Make sure nobody's fucking opened it up and licked it or whatever. I don't know how you do
it's definitely also the easiest way to just harvest the things that you want from the bag.
Well, yeah, I heard you keep mentioning that, oh, I bet you the cop has some rotten teeth and shit. Yeah, of course. Yeah. He's like,
I mean, we all know what this is about in the long run,
Yeah. So with that said, I hope you guys are listening to this today on Halloween. And if you're not, that's okay. But if you go out with your kids or you're giving candy to kids, remember to give it to all the kids, even the ones that don't have costumes. They're choosing to go out and get candy instead of fucking, endanger you and them with stupid teenage shit. Just give it to everybody. It's fucking Halloween. Yeah. Everybody deserves candy.
It's expensive, we're all kids but just everybody.
Yeah. So for the Rude Cooking School podcast, I'm John Hauser III.
And I am Saucy Soren Marquardt.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Be careful. Be safe. We will see you next week in November, the scariest month of all. Because you got to do all the prep for all of the Thanksgiving sides that you got to do.
Yep, you're not wrong about that.
See everybody.
Also, watch out for quicksand and abandoned freezers.
Oh, yeah. Punky Brewster told us about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Terrifying.
Boom.